Evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Bombers Blitz right here on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. That is me. I want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. We've got, I was going to have some fun with promotion relegation in college football. I was going to, try to sell everybody on a Premier League for, 60, 70, 80 teams and promotion and relegation for the college football playoff and whatnot. But boy, a couple of stories just dropped when I was even right after I posted the show. Another major headline popped up, and I was frustrated because I really spent an inordinate amount of time trying to create the thumbnail for tonight's show. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Make sure you like, subscribe, become a member of the College Football Mafia family. Way to do that next to the comment box right there in your window. Hit that dollar bill and you can become a new member. You can gift memberships or you can do super chats. These Tuesday nights are usually free flowing. Sometimes I have interviews. Last week, absolute headliner, Daniel Kelly. I'll repost that video. I'm probably going to do that several times this summer. How is college sports actually being run? Well, I got it from an assistant attorney general from the state of Florida last week. We spent a half hour breaking down legislation, NIL. I think we talked about almost everything, realignment. That video was fantastic. I recommend everybody just go and find it. It's not a special member video. You can find it right in the video library. Just go to the College Football Mafia on YouTube. Hit the videos link, I think right in the middle of your page, and it should pop up at the top, unless I guess Moen might have posted one on top of it. Regardless, it was me and Danielle Kelly, and I tell you what, I do good interviews. Bob Thompson, Mark Rogers, important people. Anyway, I've had a lot of big interviews, and that was maybe the funnest I've ever had because everything with Daniel Kelly and I, we are aligned with the way college football and college sports in general is really screwed up. Anyway, I don't want to get on that anymore. So I recommend you watch that video after this show and you should have some fun. Tonight, we are going to do call-ins. If I can get the technology to work, I'll have everybody join us. You're welcome to call in at that time. I'll post the number. And we take calls as they come in. So if you got things on your mind, and you probably will after a few of these stories, I might get to those calls earlier than not. But regardless, please leave a comment or question. Make sure you subscribe to the College Football Mafia. Follow me on Twitter and get involved. That's what we ask to do. If you ask anybody in the chat, anybody who's a member, let me just see if I can grab one randomly. Just has popped up. This one right here, because Timothy Green is a stud. He got his membership back. I so much appreciate Timothy Green. He is a West Virginia Mountaineer representing the east end of College Football Mafia land. And we appreciate him being with us for a long, long time. Anyway, everyone, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you also very much. Thank you very much, Timothy. I saw that today. I was like, I'll just start the show with it. Okay, so promotion relegation, that could be fun to talk about. I'm at a headline with Brendan Sorsby. He put out Instagram post today, and I'll read it. We'll go through it together. Was it Instagram? Yeah, Instagram that we'll read, and then I want to see your comments and questions about it. If you guys think that Brendan Sorsby should be playing football this next year, 2026, I want to hear why. I seriously think there's big issues with not only the gambling, but I keep going back to his recovery. Brendan Sorsby's in recovery. He's come out of gambling addiction land, and to all of a sudden put him right back in the spotlight. I just don't understand the logic there. So I'll read his Instagram post. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then I'll get to the next story. Let's do this really quick. Starred comments right out the gate. Somebody who's giving me a super chat always participates in our Tuesday night call-in shows. The baddest Buckeye is in the house, and BYU is going to the college football playoffs. Let's go. I'm all for that. Caden. You know that. I think it's really important. I think BYU does make it this year. yeah, I think it's our time. Anyway, so that should be fun. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much for the super chat. Caden and Timothy right next to their names. See that little symbol? It's like an S. That thing shows you that they are members of the College Football Mafia family, and I already talked you through becoming a new member. He also gave a new gifted membership. Thank you, Caden. I appreciate that so much. Let's see who that went to. That went to Christopher Mercado. Christopher Mercado, I'd implore you to thank Caden for that the gifted membership. Make sure you thank him in the comment section. That way he can see that coming. And Caden, thank you very much for doing that. And welcome to the party, Christopher Mercado. After the show's over, go into where I just told you, College Football Mafia, on the main YouTube page. You can watch all the videos because you're a new member. You have access to all of our videos. And if you're just getting into college football or you've been in a long time, want to know news and information, we have broken down almost every kind of story you could think of. If there's something we haven't covered that you want us to cover, send me a DM on Twitter. Try to leave a comment in the comment section. I'll try to grab it. But I really encourage everybody to get involved because the videos we have are tip top, absolutely tip top, and do some of the best stuff out there. And new members have access to that. Also, let's get to another one. Your Bulldog, Mississippi, Mr. Bulldog in the house, representing the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Excuse me, has become a very active OG member at this point. I think 6 months or something. But it's his activity, giving memberships and super chats and being involved in the comment section. Thank you so much, Bulldog Mississippi. I really, really appreciate that. Let me give some shout outs here. Let's see if I can get to some applauses. Does work. We'll try it one more time. Thank you so much, Bulldog. Thank you so much, Caden. Thank you so much, Timothy, for the new membership. Bulldog's membership went to Big Adam Slim. That's a good name. Big Adam Slim is the new member. Make sure you thank Bulldog Mississippi in the comment section for giving you a membership. If you receive a new membership, I'm just going to say this once. I believe in karma. If you receive something for free, consider paying it forward to somebody else, and that karma will go with you out into the world. You have a great week. I can almost guarantee it, although I can't promise it. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for being with me here at the top of the show. I really, really appreciate every one of you. And we will get into calls and comments in a little bit. Let me get to some stories here so we can at least get this out, and I don't forget to mention them. I'll do Brendan Sorsby, and then I'll do shout outs. All right. Everybody okay with that? No, I just changed my mind. We're going to do shout outs. I just did that on the fly. Let's start with shout outs to start the show. Conundrum saying, how can this be happening? It's un-American. I think he's talking about the SEC, talking about a CBA. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how to do those things. CBA, collective bargaining agreement, is now actively being talked about in Big Ten and SEC land. People have actually said the word, initials, I guess. And I've been saying it for how long, everybody? You guys all know, as long as the show has been around, I've been cheering for a collective bargaining agreement for college athletes. I was in the wilderness. Not a lot of people were on my side, and I've just plugged away on Twitter. And I think if you go back and look at my Twitter history, I don't think you'll see one comment where I was negative against the collective bargaining agreement. The SEC is actually talking about those. So we'll get to that story after we do some more shout outs. Big Lubbock, who is the OG, always first in our heart. When he's a member, it's even better. Thank you so much for being here tonight, but Lubbock, he says first, and of course he was first. Sure. Daniel, the other Gygax in the house, moderator, somebody comes in and helps us here at College Football Mafia Land. Note, only 2 times in the last 155 years of college football has a team been kicked out of their conference. Marshall from the MAC in 1968, Temple in 2003 from the Big East. Relegation won't happen. Well, Daniel, you know my idea that has nothing to do with conferences. I don't want to get too sideways on the relegation promotion thing. I was just trying to come up with a fun show idea, sort of getting caught up with news as we've gotten into this evening. But that's not what I'm promoting at all. I'm promoting an extra division outside of the regular conferences that is just for football. That's what I'm talking about. So the conferences, the relegation promotion thing, the way I imagine it, it could work. Not to say you guys will like it, but it is. I think they can make it work. Evil Badger 72, Ryan Willie in the house. Good to see you, Ryan. I hope you're feeling well this week. Hi, College Football Mafia. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Bob Swinger, the Penn State Nittany Lion. By the way, Evil Badger is the University of Wisconsin. Just to get that clear. Bob Swinger, Big Ten land in the house, saying the SEC and the Big Ten will not want promotion and relegation. So I don't think it's going to happen. It's probably not, Bob. I think you're probably right. Like I said, I was trying to come up with a good show idea, but yeah, it's a tough uphill. At the same time, like I talked about with Danielle last week, she wants to promote like taking a 2-year hiatus, no more changes in college football at all, and let's take 2 years and rebuild something that actually works for everybody. That's what I would promote as well. I've been saying that. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying CBA and this stuff is easy, but nothing is impossible. I mean, we are in America after all. Let's see here. Scroll down. Manic Reactions. Good to have you here tonight, Manic Reaction. As I appreciate you. Says, hey, y'all. It's good to see you. He also says promotion relegation might only work if the conferences break themselves into upper and lower divisions. Yes, that's exactly right. That's what I'm picturing. And again, later in the show, I'll sort of paint that so everybody can understand where my thinking goes on that. But yeah, you're exactly right, Manic. That's how it would have to work. Mark's Holy Grail, the advocate for a 14 or 16 team playoff. Not everybody else's format. He's got his own. He has his own video on our channel. I would recommend you chase it down. I can't remember the title of a couple of videos we did for his, but it was about the college football playoff. He's selling something that's like a 14 or maybe a 16 as a step to something else. I don't want to get too into that right now, but Mark's Holy Grail's got videos on the channel. I would encourage you guys to go out and watch those. They're very, very good. Let's see. Gifted membership. I got to get past all. Clint Moses, the Oregon State Beaver, who just signed another 4-year continuing deal for the Civil War. That would be between Oregon and Oregon State. That was just announced today. I'm not sure when it was originally concluded, but that's a win to have Oregon and Oregon State playing every year. I'm a fan of the Civil War. If you get relegated once, I imagine the payout for media will nosedive. Keeping the books straight year to year sounds like a gamble. Clint, you're right. It is. Again, my idea would be 2 divisions. If you want to stick with 138, great. But your top division, pick a number. Bottom division is the rest. The media money, you got a lot more resources. There's more games and more matchups you can come up with. I believe there will be more money if that was to happen. A lot of people disagree, but I think you could make it work. At least in fantasy land, we could make it work. But the idea would be there'd be a 2 or 3 year rolling term, and if you're not in the top 6 or whatever, you have the potential to lose your spot. Anyway, it's very difficult. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying it's easy. Let's see. Gray Song Ganoush. Mormons who believe in karma, Buddha is converting without even trying. I'm serious. My whole life, I've always been a karma guy. I don't know. You do good things, you get paid back. That's been my attitude my whole life. Let's see here. Evil Badger Ryan Willie again, $5 super chat. Super member of the College Football Mafia family. Texas Tech and Sorsby had their priorities messed up. Was the talk about rehab for his addiction a bunch of crap? Yeah, that's what I'm asking, Ryan. I mean, I'm going to get to it. I promise you. This Instagram post, and I'm going to get you guys' reactions on it. It's pretty interesting. Get to a couple more shout outs if I got unique ones. Locked on Big 12. Could that be the real Locked on Big 12? Drake, I haven't heard from you. If you're watching me, brother, how are you doing? Hey, those Savannah Bananas, you guys are killing it. Congratulations. It's great to have you on, though. We need to do another show, brother. I appreciate you. Another great show here. Been dialed in. Thought I'd comment. Appreciate your friendship and actually agree on the relegation take. Thank you so much, Drake. Boy, you are my heart tonight. Seriously, you're kind of getting me. You come out of left field. I appreciate you tonight. If you're not familiar with Locked On Big 12, or for that matter, Drake Toll, just Google him. He's with the Savannah Bananas, and they keep selling out 100,000 seat venues to play, just fun baseball games. The entertainment value is extremely high, and he's part of that. And I'm really proud of him. He's doing a fantastic job. I haven't heard you coming when you're coming back to Utah, though. We got to get together again. Anyway, I could do that all night. I don't want to get any more sidetracked. All right. In fact, that's where I'll leave it off. Thank you so much for being here, Drake. I appreciate you. We will move on to the Sorsby take. All right. Let's see if we can bring this sucker up here. All right. So everybody knows Brendan Sorsby. I don't need to really sell it to you. Let me get the post. Who did I just say? Was that Pete Thamel? Yeah, Pete Thamel. It was with the original. Pete Thamel with the original post that I just continued on. Sorsby's statement in part. Now, so Pete is reporting this. I'm going to read this, and this is about the biggest I could make it. I could try. I don't know if that's better. It's hard for me to read even, but I will try. Brendan Sorsby on Instagram today. The NCAA just told him not so much. We're not going to let you come back. You're done, at least for this year, I think. College football, because the gambling is zero tolerance, right? Texas Tech quickly came out after that saying, we stand behind him. And that's cool, right? He's a Texas Tech guy. I can understand them being behind him, but the playing, I have serious issues with. So let me read this. Last Friday, I completed this is so small. A residential treatment program for diagnosed gambling addiction and anxiety disorder. While I accept responsibility for my behavior, so this is where I've been posting on Twitter. Accepting responsibility, good, but there's also accountability, right? Anyway, I accept responsibility for my behavior and know that I have a lot of work ahead of me. For the first time in many years, I feel more free and no longer fully at the mercy of my addiction. Well, take away his cell phone, that would help. I am endlessly grateful to all who have supported me over the last several weeks, especially my family, friends, experts, and staff at Algamus Recovery Services and the entire Texas Tech community. And I can stand behind that. Texas Tech has been they've been amazing. They've absolutely been amazing behind him. And I think that's really, really cool. I'm going to go to a different picture, see if I can make it bigger. We'll try that. This is the start of a new beginning that I feel fortunate to have. I know recovery from addiction is a long road, and hope that my experience has even some small way reduced the stigma associated with speaking up about addiction and getting help. That's good. I like that. I am committed to ongoing treatment and being a resource to many other student athletes and other kids out there dealing with gambling addiction and other mental health issues. With the support of my coaches, teammates, and the university, I'm looking forward to returning to campus in Lubbock. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have the opportunity to continue my college career at Texas Tech. I'm going to read that again. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have the opportunity to continue my college career at Texas Tech. I know I will get the support I need, including through the school's Center for Students Addiction Recovery. I am deeply sorry to everyone I've disappointed, and I'm committed to the hard and necessary work ahead. So let me get back here. We don't need to sit on that. What does everybody think about that? Right? I'm a parent. I've raised 4 kids. I've been fairly successful. They're a lot smarter and doing much better than I was at their age. But they've had their struggles, right? Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, heaven, I wouldn't. I was so bad. I can't even. I did some. I'm not proud of a lot of the stuff I did when I was a kid, but I understand acceptance, right? I understand stepping up and saying that you're responsible. Bring this up here. I understand you're taking ownership, Brendan Sorsby, but I'm concerned, and this is the analog I made last week. If you're coming out of alcohol addiction, right? That's what we're talking about here. It's an addiction. Everybody has them, by the way. Comes out of an addiction. Is the first thing you do, you put them back working at Budweiser as a bottle filler? Do you put them in the middle? Are they a bartender? Right? Or does the employer look at that and say, I'm not going to let you go, right? You've taken responsibility. We really, really appreciate you doing that. We want to help you through this, which is everything Texas Tech has done. But then they re-enable him. So, and maybe I'm the oldest one in the room. I doubt it. I know there's a lot of you guys are way older than me. Where is the accountability? I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have the opportunity to continue my college career at Texas Tech. Well, the news is the NCAA says no. The NCAA came out today and says, no, we're not letting you back. Right after that, the president of Texas Tech puts out a 2-page, I don't know what you want to call it. And I debated whether I wanted to read it to you. It's kind of like, I don't know. Here, I'll just bring it up and you guys can make up your own mind. Give me a second. Might as well bring it up because we're going to stay on the Sorsby for a minute. Ross Dellinger again, always give credit, right? I always give credit to people, creators. This is hard work we're doing. And I certainly appreciate Ross. In a letter to the Texas Tech community, President Lawrence Chovanec, I guess, says the school will appeal. I'm not sure now. I apologize. I went back to this other thing. Technical difficulties. All right. In a letter to Texas Tech community, President Lawrence Chovanec says the school will appeal the NCAA's denial of QB Brendan Sorsby eligibility over sports wagering allegations. Sorsby has a court date next week in a lawsuit against the association. And I posted the link. I can't really, I don't know how much of this I want to read. Basically, the president says here, Texas Tech University has long held that our strength as an institution rests in 5 shared values. They go through. I want to speak to the Texas Tech community. Last week, Brendan Sorsby completed an intensive inpatient treatment program for a diagnosed gambling addiction and anxiety disorder, a meaningful step forward in what will be a long recovery. This week, we will welcome Brendan back on campus. We share this update because transparency with our community is not optional. It's foundational to who we are. By the way, any Texas Tech fans, I know you guys are out there watching right now. When I open up the phone lines, I want to hear about this from you guys because I'm trying to square the circle here. To provide continued treatment, monitoring, and support, we believe Brendan needs leaders in our athletics department have worked with Brendan's treatment team to put forward a plan that we believe is right for Brendan, our institution, and for the integrity of college athletics. That plan is comprehensive, thoughtful, and built to sustain his long-term recovery at Texas Tech and beyond. And then it goes on to a couple other things. Over the past month, we have given careful and deliberate thought to what is right, not only for Brendan's recovery, but for the future as a student athlete, as a member of this community. He says, recently, the NCAA issued an initial ruling that Brendan is permanently ineligible to compete. Texas Tech will be appealing that decision. We believe that given the facts and the context of Brendan's case, the NCAA's ruling should be reversed or modified. And then this is where it starts to lose me because this is a bit gaslighting. This next little bit is Texas Tech gaslighting all of us, maybe not on purpose. As a generation of college athletes face the legalization and rapid proliferation of sports betting in our country, gambling addiction is rising to the point of epidemic among college-aged men in particular. The NCAA's stated mission includes fostering student athletes' lifelong well-being, and they have claimed their goal is to promote a culture of care to student athletes' mental health. Gambling addiction is a clinically okay. And then they talk about, bylaws and should it be back. But at the end of the day, they're basically standing behind Brendan. And I think that's great. I am 100% for that, right? I think they should stand behind him. I really do. But again, where is the accountability? We take responsibility, saying, "Yep, I did it. I screwed up." You're the first one in the huddle saying, "That's my bad. I will improve, do the work to get better." Where's the accountability? Because the accountability would say you gambled on your own team. That's a zero sum. And I don't want to be thrown into the social pressure, the athletic pressure, the national spotlight. So this is another question for Texas Tech fans. What is the storyline of this year going to be? Is your storyline in 2026 going to be about returning back to the Big 12 championship, getting to the college football playoff, and actually winning a game? Or is the entire season going to be colored by Brendan Sorsby? I mean, I don't know how to answer that, right? That's not for me to answer. That's Tech fans and administration that need to sort of get that through. I don't know how to I don't know what to do about that. But it doesn't seem super healthy to me. So let's do that right now. Let's take comments. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I know Caden likes to call in and get his comments in, and we will do that. But I just want to, just for a little bit, just spend 5 minutes here, and let's talk about Brendan Sorsby. Okay? And then we get to the fun story, which is SEC. Here is the phone number. Call in right now. And somehow I've lost my window. Where did it go? Well, anyway, 801-899-6203, 801-899-6203. It helps if I will open up the phone lines. Call in right now, and while I'm waiting for you to call to talk about Brendan Sorsby or Texas Tech, I will read some of your comments as we're talking about this topic right this second. Let me work backward so I can get as many of them in the air as I can. Let's see. Right here we have Pit Snipe Husker. Pit Snipe Husker says, in my never to be humble opinion, the NCAA networks cannot take the money from DraftKings and Harrah's and every other gambling site and not give Sorsby a path back to eligibility. Okay, that's it's absolutely fair comment. I'm not talking about a path back, right? We're not talking about a path back. We're talking about 2026. They want it now. They want it absolutely now. Hopefully this works.
Call from
Town Hawk.
The Town Hawk in the house. Good to have you here. If everybody watch your comments, I'm watching comments. Can you hear him? I want to make sure. Go ahead and speak for a minute. Let's make sure everybody can hear you.
Mic check. Can everybody hear me?
Well, I hope so. If not, I'm not sure what else I've done wrong. Anyway, so what are your thoughts?
Well, last week I called in and I had a few thoughts on it, on the gambling situation. And as a matter of fact, I have to correct something, Nate. Number one, okay. Hope you had a great holiday. Hope everybody was safe and they had lots of barbecue and and wonderful stuff and great time with the family.
Well, and
Period.
thank
The
you
end
to
on
the
that one.
veterans. I'm glad you said that. Thank you to the veterans that Memorial Day is actually about. It's not about baseball or NASCAR or anything else. It's about giving thanks for those people who've sacrificed themselves in one way or another. So I'm very grateful for the veterans. Anyway, keep going.
Absolutely. Last week, I talked about the problem of there being gambling readily available and tied into college football. And I know we got on the track of it being a gaslight situation. I never finished my thought that
Okay.
this kid should not get a chance to come back. Absolutely not. It is one big no. You're not supposed to do it. Professional athletes are banned for life when they get caught doing it. So
Yep.
it's not like it's a surprise from that aspect. I think a lot of these younger kids have gotten so many extra chances that other people haven't.
Yep.
I think it's part of the culture. They get to push it and push it and push it. They get they get in trouble. Well, they can leave and go to a different school.
Yep.
I know your school especially has dealt with that at the quarterback situation.
Well, and a
as
wide
well.
receiver this last year too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you 100% on the accountability. But
Yeah.
the other thing is that here's from my perspective, this kid, Mr. Sorsby knew he had a problem.
Yeah.
Knew that it probably was known that it was an issue. And if that's the case, I can't imagine, spitting in the face of the people who were either, helping you or covering it up and then not expecting anything to happen.
Right.
This was quote unquote, an anonymous phone call, which to me says somebody in the Cincinnati athletic department or an upset ex-agent or something of that ilk. We're calling to get even, kind of like the kid on the draft night. What was his name? Larry with the gas mask. You know who I'm talking about? The guy. I think he was from Mississippi. Ole Miss, the lineman. And the pictures, the night of the draft, the pictures came out. They had him smoking marijuana with a gas mask on.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about what's his name from Vanderbilt. Okay, keep going.
Oh no, not the quarterback, but
yeah.
So my point being, this wouldn't be the first time people do it just to get even, not for looking out for the best interest of the school or the kid or whatever. But that being said, I think Texas Tech has an obligation to pay whatever he was owed pro rata for the time that he was there. I don't think they can claw back the money or anything like that.
So you're talking about his NIL $5 million, however he's getting that. Okay.
And I mean, I'm ignorant to the fact of how it was structured. I know a lot of people they get either the huge upfront payment or a huge back end payment, but I don't think he's going to lose or should lose the whole thing. Part of that is on Texas Tech for not doing their due diligence, or if they knew about it, they took the chance.
Yes.
So that's another aspect of it. Other than that, that's about all I got tonight.
Well, I really appreciate your insightful thoughts on it. I know you spend time on this. You try to get your house in order, as it were, as you start to analyze these things in college sports. I'll just ask you a question and then we can let you go. But how would you answer this? If you are, if you're a parent, maybe even a booster of Texas Tech, what's your primary focus? Is it the $5 million that you probably helping underwrite? Is it the college football playoff and possibly win a national championship? Or is it putting Brendan Sorsby in the best position to be successful in the next 12 months?
I'm a little more conservative, and what I look at it, I'm not saying the kid's a lost cause, but it's a sunk cost on the money. They're
Right.
number one, that they particularly aren't hurting for it, given how much their spending's ramped up in the last 2 years.
Yes.
Number two, I don't think your team needs a distraction.
That's what I was thinking about today.
Them,
I was thinking about that today.
I mean, as much as everybody was like, we're tired of hearing how Texas Tech, they spent so much money and blah, 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 that, the weird narrative that Texas Tech spent all this money last year when nothing was said about the normal spenders.
Yes.
But they tried to make that an issue and a side problem to focus on with the media and badger the players, I'm sure, at every single media session and try and, get in their head. I think that's going to be, no matter what they do, I think it's going to be a question they're going to have to deal with at least the front half of the season, even if he's not there. The players and the coaches are all going to get questions about, well, do you feel you'd be in the same spot if who was here, and just something you don't need. Right?
Yeah.
You want your team focused on the next game, on the opponent, on the season, and when it comes down to the playoff time, I mean, you see the margins. Even with all the talent in the world, it comes down to being critical. You want to have everybody locked in, and you don't need any sideshow taking away their attention. So that's how I feel about it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in to Town Hawk. I hope you have a great night, and I hope you had a safe Memorial weekend.
Oh, I did. I didn't do much. I just worked on the car.
Okay, all right. There you go. You got to do what you got to do. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man.
You got it. Talk to you later, Nate.
See ya. He is.
Bye-bye.
Town Hawk, the Kansas Jayhawk in the house. Been with us from the beginning, pretty much. OG. Appreciate him calling in, always giving us thoughtful answers, things that people aren't just making up off the top of their head. He spends time on his responses. So thank you so much. Appreciate it to Town Hawk. And it's all I know is, what is it? It's June 9th. Do I have that date right? Somebody check my date. Daniel Gygax is my fact checker. When is the temporary, what's it called? The TRO hearing. Was that June 8th? You have to check me on that. But we're talking 10 days, right? This is coming right around the corner. Maybe a few more than that. But yeah, we will find out sooner than later. I promise you. Anyway, thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate you. To Town Hawk, 801-899-6203, 801-899-6203. You can call in right now. We'll go Sorsby. If a couple more people want to call in, I'll stick on Sorsby, or we can move on to what I think is actually the bigger story of the day, to be honest. I'm going to do more shout-outs as I wait for you guys to call in. 801-899-6203. Old Dad in the house, Florida State in rebuilding mode. That's okay. You got to start somewhere. Greetings from the wilderness of, also Rans. Florida State will be back. Old Dad. What do you guys got? 2-3 national championships, maybe more. You're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. Grateful Trojan in the house says, peace. Good to have you here, man. Thank you so much. Coming in from USC land. That's fantastic. I love hearing from people now in the Big Ten. I'm an old Pac-10 guy, so I appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you so much for joining the show. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel right now on YouTube, College Football Mafia. If you're watching on X, do me a favor, jump over and give us a follow or a subscribe, on YouTube. If you're on X watching right now, just open up another window, College Football Mafia. We're the first thing, only thing to pop up. And we'll talk. I'd love to have you around. That's what we're here for. I've got Kalani, who looks like he might have some experience. And I don't know, this is in the middle. This is a long conversation. He's been answering questions. Kalani, you seem to have some really good insight into the way the brain works addictions, all these things. These are amazing posts and filling out information. Can you give me a little of your background so that we can? It helps to put context so everybody understands who's talking. It's not just some guy, uh, you know, sitting on the embankment fishing for catfish. Anyway, you could be, and the smartest guy in the world. But anyway, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to track that. I really, really appreciate it. What your insight looks really good. In fact, if you want to call in, I'd love to talk to you, actually. I don't think you've ever called in before. 801-899-6203. You don't have to share your picture. It's just a phone call. And I'd love to hear your insight, and break this down for a little bit. But your comments seem really, really good. I'll read a couple of them. They're out of context, so I apologize if these are in the middle of a conversation. But Kalani says it takes approximately 90 days for the brain's neural pathways to begin returning to a state of balance. Yeah, we're not 90 days in. In fact, we're about half that, something like that. April 1st. I guess it might be 2 months. Brendan Sorsby is not through that window. So that already is a concern. And then the second one that I marked is replying to Daniel. It's not just a mental state for an addict. It's how their dopamine levels are different and need to be reset. This isn't about developing a new good habit. Again, that's wisdom. I would take that whether you were a doctor, a scientist, or educated or not. That's pretty well common sense there. It would make sense to me. I just don't understand. You're taking an addict and dropping him right in the middle of the mess that he just said he was having trouble with. Nobody can explain that to me. At least I haven't had anybody explain it to me and can really show why that is a good idea. Anyway, we'll go another minute. If nobody wants to call on Brandon Sorsby, we'll get to the fun part of the show tonight. There is a fun part. But I'll give you one last chance to call in right now. 801-899-6203. 801-899-6203. Let me, while I'm waiting, I'll get to a couple more new comments in here. I had a comment here for Pit Sniper, and then it disappeared. Joaquin Morales in the house for Go Devils. All right, one more call. Here we go.
Call from
Evil Badger.
Evil Badger, the Ryan Willie. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
I just want to make a quick comment on Sorsby and the SEC.
Okay.
As far as Sorsby goes, I believe that Texas Tech is actually doing more harm than good for Sorsby. He needs to take care of his health and don't worry about football right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And as far as the SEC goes, the SEC does what ESPN wants, and if ESPN doesn't want the 24 team playoffs, they're not going to vote for that.
That sounds reasonable too. Yeah, I mean, we would have to find out. Time will tell on the 2014 playoff, but there's certainly a lot of groundswell of attention from people saying, "Yeah, let's do it." You know what's interesting is that first 72 hours, maybe it was a week, when the college football 2014 came out from Big Ten land, every SEC creator on the face of the planet, and some Big Ten, immediately attacked it, saying they're watering down the regular season, rivalries don't matter. I don't believe any of that crap, but that's what they were saying.
People are still going to watch football no matter what.
Thank you. That's right. You got it. That's exactly right. Yeah, you want to talk about an addiction? We're all addicted to college football.
Right. And NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an NFL guy, obviously. Go Hawks. But yeah, I appreciate you. Your comment is well founded. I appreciate you being here tonight. How you feeling?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. Never stay positive. It's important.
I'm trying to.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Keep keep those updates coming, okay?
All right. Thanks for taking my
Okay.
call.
Of course, Ryan, thank you so much
All
for
right.
calling in. You bet. He is Ryan
All
Willie,
right.
the
All right, thank
evil
you.
badger. Thank you. In the house. I appreciate him calling all the time. Thank you so much, Ryan. It's great to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing well. Okay. So it looks like we may be done with those comments. I can't get Kalani to call in, so I don't know what I need to do to bribe him. But he looks to me like, well, he looks smarter than me anyway. That doesn't take much, actually. All right. I'll close down the phone lines then if nobody else is going to call in. If you wanted to call in and you missed it, put your hand up in the comment section. I'll try to grab you and we can turn them back on. But the next story, and this is the funnest one for me because everybody knows my stance has always been SEC in on a CBA for college athletes? Question mark, exclamation point. Say it ain't so. I'm being sarcastic. And then that's my handle. Welcome to the party, SEC. So everybody knows, if you're new to the channel, just watching tonight on X, since I started the channel and we talked about anything to do with athletes, the very first thing that I've been an advocate for is a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement for those athletes. My record is 100%. There's never been any wavering from that. And I say that so that I can bring this story up next, because right here, via Ross Dellinger, let me get his right there. It's the wrong one. This is the one I wanted. My own comment. I'll cheat a little bit and use my own comment as the reference. You guys can go through me to get to Ross. This is a report in the SEC. Collective bargaining has gone from a long shot discussions to full-blown presentations. Nobody's saying yes, we're doing collective bargaining yet, but it's a step-by-step process. For them even to be in the room talking with a collective bargaining agreement at the SEC, who has been, I don't know, I guess I can't make that argument. Big Ten is bad with CBA too, until recently. They started to turn a little bit. The public's attention is starting to divert. There's a lot of creators on X that, and I'm not going to name them, but the drumbeat has always been, we want antitrust exemption for college football. We want to give the ability for the NCAA to roll stuff back. Let's go back to the future, and we'll reset the timeline. Athletes, you may get paid, you may not get paid. I'm just being facetious, but at the end of the day, they have not been friendly to a CBA. Me, on the other hand, Mitt Winter, Darren Heitner, friends of the show, right? All these legal analysts, super smart people, Danielle Kelly last week, they've all come out and they've said, yeah, look, that's really the only way you could go. There have been other options. People have talked about possibly employment contracts, other things. It's not a slam dunk because there are states that aren't super friendly to unions. But just saying no, it can't be just because it hasn't been in the past, just because it's never existed, is not an argument for me. It's BS. In fact, I think that's a bunch of garbage. Just because it hasn't existed in the past doesn't mean it can't exist in the future. And new laws can be written, new rules and organizations can be built, but they have to be done the right way. And you know how I know that? It's because the CSC is a complete disaster. Okay, so here's Ross saying, in the SEC, collective bargaining has gone from a long shot discussion to full-blown presentations. More preliminary talks are expected here in Destin. It is SEC Media Week. This week. While momentum grows, the concept is fraught with problems, but one AD said maybe it is the answer. Okay, so then let me get to this is the actual article, and it's a Yahoo Sports article that is linked from those Twitter posts. Give you the headline. Close that off. Last week, near the steps of the U.S. Capitol, a scene unfolded that encapsulates the troublesome predicament in which college athletics finds itself. Flanked by the leader of a players association, the president of the NAACP, and members of the Congressional Black Caucus, who I'm becoming quickly fans of these guys. A college football player spoke into a microphone to deliver a message, and this is the quote. It's important that people hear what athletes have to say, said Jackson Pruitt. He's a Temple offensive lineman. It's important that we push for player representation and some kind of player union. I don't know, the union might be an issue. Maybe we call it something else. Anyway, that gets us what we deserve. So that's an athlete, right? What has been the problem with the SCORE Act? What has been the problem with the Cantwell whatever Act? All these other things. None of them are including the athletes. That's not true. There may have been one that said there has to be a CBA, but it went quickly by the wayside. Why aren't we negotiating with the guys who are out there playing? And everybody watching me right now, I don't know who it is. You guys are, I hope you're having a great day. But there is no college sports without the athletes. And it's asinine for these conferences, especially the biggest conferences, to stand up and say, no, we're not going to negotiate with them as a class, meaning as a union, collective bargaining in general. We're just going to let that sit, and we're going to build this structure, and then they're going to bolt on the athletes. That's how it's been. I don't care who you talk to. I don't care what you see on Twitter. That is exactly how they've been trying to do it. Build something, and then at the end, throw in the athletes. So we don't have anything. We don't have any sports without the players. So it's complete garbage that we don't involve them in the discussions. Let's see here. I think it's time to come to the truth. We are employees, said Oluchi Okananwa, a Maryland women's hoops player from Boston and the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Year last season. It's a female athlete. I admit I'm a chauvinist. Generally, I think about men's basketball and college football when it comes to these athletes getting paid, but we all know women's basketball players and softball players are getting and gymnastics. Massive NIL and MMR deals. All of them. It's all because they can put people in seats and sell things. We continue. College sports executives may claim that these players were used as tools for partisan lawmakers at a divisive time in American athletics or politics. Basically saying the only reason you have players here is because they're being propped up by these unions, NAACP, the CBC Congressional Black Caucus, to go up there and be our spokesman. You know, we'll help protect you on the backside. That's not it at all. But their message, schools should deem athletes employees and bargain with them, is beginning to gain traction at the highest levels of the industry, including within the Southeastern Conference and its powerful group of university presidents, chancellors, and athletic directors. So the SEC has their media days this week. They're not necessarily getting together for Temple offensive linemen or for a women's basketball player in the Big Ten, right? SEC, I'm not saying they don't care, but they kind of just don't care about those things. What we're really talking about here and what everybody needs to pay attention to is the fact that they are employees. I've been saying it forever. Greg Flugar, friend of the show, has been a massive help for us at this channel, and he's a friend of mine. He and I have completely disagreed on this from the very beginning. But I've been steadfast. I think the athletes need to be treated as a group. They need to be bargained with. And then once you do that, the options completely open. And that's another thing people don't talk about. What are these options? If you negotiate with the players and you actually build a framework where, yep, they'll show up and they'll play football, to do that, they have to give concessions. That's called a negotiation, right? So they have to give concessions. What are some of the concessions you could do? Well, what are the added benefits they're going to pay for? What's your after university care going to look like? What's your long-term health going to look like, right? Those are things that are very, very important. But there's so many other things that are important too. And if you negotiate those things, think about price caps. Nah, I don't like that word. Let's talk about negotiated position amounts. You could put that in a contract. And that's one of many things. Is it easy? No, I'm not making that claim. In fact, it's very, very difficult. But what is easy is just making the choice and saying, we screwed it up, we own it, let's move on, and let's build it back. All right, and we'll continue here. I never thought I'd say it, but I'm there on employment. One of those SEC presidents told Yahoo, let's collectively bargain. So here we go. Here on the sandy beaches, And while playoff expansion discussions draw fan interest, you, me, us, we all want to talk about college football playoff, at least I do. More pressing issues are at hand, and there's no doubt about it. Combined with millions spent on coaching and administrative salaries, rising salary compensation amounts have thrust athletic departments into the red. Universities, some of them already crippled financially, considering the enrollment cliff, which we've talked about on this channel. Do a search on the channel videos, and I think you could just put enrollment, and you'll have videos pop up of ours where we talk about what that enrollment cliff actually means. And it's real. It's a real thing. People are leaving states. People are going to states. It's always been that way. It'll continue to always be that way. But because of that, money follows enrollment. Are using general funds to fill athletic budgetary holes, and costs are only expected to get higher. Okay, this is just, I don't have time to do this. I could do a 24-hour show and I couldn't get to all these points. Here's another thing that I have been absolutely yelling on, and nobody's really paid attention because they want to talk about other stuff. Using general funds to fill athletic budgetary holes. State legislatures, your tax dollars, in not every state, but in a lot of states, are now filling holes for state universities who are taking money out of operations to prop up their athletic department, the revenue cap. I can't predict where everybody's watching me from tonight, but there's a good number of states with a lot of people in them that are subsidizing. They're basically letting schools debt spend. They're bailing them out for what have been horrible choices in the past. Arizona legislature did $52 million between the two biggest state universities a few years ago. That's money that came right out of the legislature. Now, some of it was for capital expenses. I have no problem with capital expenses. I'm not going to argue against that. But any money that is going just to run operations in the athletic department, broken. And I live in the state of Utah, and as long as I can breathe, I'm going to advocate against that. If it ever comes up, I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, in my opinion, it's horrible because state legislatures now are underwriting bad choices at these athletic departments. At the center of the discussions here is how to slow the escalating pace of roster values and bring long-term stability to the system. Negotiate with the athletes. That's how you do that. Outside of congressional legislation, there is but one real solution, and here we go. There is a construct in the current law of the country that would work well for college sports. Tennessee Athletic Director Danny White told Yahoo Sports. It's called collective bargaining. Looking down the road, a longtime vocal proponent of athlete bargaining and employment, White is no longer on an island. Within SEC administrative rooms, the topic of collective bargaining has turned from long-shot discussions to full-blown presentations. Momentum is growing enough that the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and his conference staff, in an effort to prepare membership, have engaged outside counsel on the aspects of employment and bargaining. Greg Sankey's in it, guys. Greg Sankey, the guy that everybody loves to hate if you're not in the SEC. Here he is saying it. I think you guys basically understand the rest of it. I posted the link to the article. The bottom line is, we're at a point in college football, especially college football, men's basketball, where it's untenable how costs have spiraled out of it's just completely upside down costs. You can't even really negotiate. I mean, there's really the costs are just completely out of scope. And it's because the conferences, the A4, and the NCAA made some horrible choices over the last 2 decades. We can't undo that now. It's too late. What can we do? Build it back right. That's what I'm a proponent of. Let's do it right. If we're going to do it, let's take the extra year, tell everybody just chillax, except for the college football playoff. I hope they don't do that. But tell everybody just relax. And the future will come, and we will renegotiate. We will get this built the right way. Danielle Kelly, Assistant Attorney General for the state of Florida, last week on this show said that she thinks it could happen in 2 years. That's my timeline. If everybody put their hard-earned energy, time, money into it, I think that could happen. I think we could make that work. 2 years. All of us. Let's all help. Right? We have AI. AI can do a bunch of that work. But let's bargain with the athletes. They're the ones doing the work. We have a super chat here, again, from Caden the Diesel Freak. It's ridiculous in the water college football that they're doing this, doing all this reviewing and delegation. It's seriously stupid. Now, I don't disagree with Caden. It is. We are where we are, though, because of the choices that these decision makers make. And why did they do it at the end of the day, everybody? There's one word. Nobody wants to say it. It's dirty. But Gordon Gekko said it, and that's greed. Greed is good. Maybe it is in the business world. Greed has not been good in college football, especially. Men's basketball, the tournament, for the most part, I think it's about the best we're ever going to get it. But college football, broken. Absolutely broken. I'm going to turn the phone lines on, and then I'm going to start reading comments backwards. Let's see. Let me turn this on here. Okay, so you can call in right now, 801-899-6203, 801-899-6203. We can talk about, well, I'd prefer to talk about the SEC and CBA. If you want to call in, we can talk about that. That's really where my passion is this evening. I'll talk Sorsby if you want to. There was some other Big Ten or SEC news that came out of the essentially SEC good, everybody else bad. If you happen to beat an SEC team in the first couple rounds of the playoff, it's because it's all doesn't matter anymore. Oh, it's Destin, Florida.
Call from
Caden the Diesel Freak.
Caden the Diesel Freak, always love to have you on the show, man. So tell me what your thoughts here.
Nathan, that's just as I said in my super chat, my friend. It's ridiculous. Now, and Gordon Gekko makes another great point. They're letting greed, but they're also letting their egos get in their way of doing all this bull crap. You know, I've been telling this to people for the last couple of years, Nathan, that greed and ego are the two worst things that can get in your way and cause a whole lot of the stupidest shenanigans to happen.
Yes.
I learned that from a young age, but man, will it kick you in the rear end and you wouldn't like the result.
Yes. That's right.
You know what, Nathan? I said this last week to Mullen. It's like all those kids that are like Disney actors and they forget and they don't talk to anybody and they're all letting their ego and their greed get in their way because of how much money. And I'm like, it's the same thing. Basically, I mean, my 11 years of my work, I mean, I've seen it. It's nothing new to me, but it's just like, you know, I've seen this pattern happen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's stupid, Nathan.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, Caden. It's you're in Big Ten land, right? You won a national championship 2 years ago. You've got lots of stuff to crow about. The fact that we're still talking about this paying players and all these other things today is just stupid, I think.
It's not even just stupid, Nathan. It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this multiple times to people. Yet people don't want to listen because they want to let their egos and all their money talk. That's the one thing you should never do, is let your greed get in your way, let your ego do the talking, because you let your ego get in the way of talking. That's the one thing you never want to let, happen. Because there's an old saying goes, go write checks with your mouth that your rear end can't catch. Unfortunately, people are doing that, and I'm not seeing no results.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Thanks for bringing us back down. I appreciate you, Caden. Thank you.
And Jesus Christ, Nathan, for the love of God, I'm telling you, as an honest-to-God person and somebody who, as a former Division III athlete in high school, yeah, sure, I know what it's like in their shoes. But at the same time, I never went down the path to college football and all this money because I knew the consequences.
Yes.
And these kids need to realize it, yet they don't want to listen because of the three things: ego, greed, and money. And
Yeah.
it's seriously just, it makes me sick to my stomach, but at the same time, it's just good. Oh my God, good freaking grief. I'm over here just trying to work on trucks and semis, and I hear these kids yapping.
Yeah.
Come work in my day in my life and see what happens.
Yeah.
Good grief.
There is that. I would also argue the other side. They are out there getting beat to hell for 60 minutes every week, and it's
But the problem is it's not hard hitting football. It's this soft-handed football because they changed all the rules because the NCAA don't want to see, people get hit. They don't want to see quarterbacks get busted wide open by the defensive lineman or the outside pass rusher. They don't want to see guys like John Taylor or Brian Dawkins laying the boom to somebody or Cam Chancellor laying the boom to somebody. That's what I want to see, but unfortunately the NCAA don't got enough guts to let people do it. I mean, why do you think they made all the stupid rules? Because of these legends. I don't get it.
I'm a fan of Kenny Easley and Cam Chancellor, and they both brought the beast with them. So, anyways, I'll give you a last word, and then I'll move on to another caller.
Bottom line is, my friend, it's good to hear from you as always. Go Bucks, take care, and hey, follow, message me on Twitter soon. I might want to be doing something with you here soon, Nathan. So I'll catch you later.
Okay, we'll see you later. Thank you so much, Caden Nadis. Appreciate you checking in with me. A lot of wisdom there. He's old enough to remember when. Defenses. Peak defense was probably Seattle in 2015. This last Seattle defense, this last year, win the Super Bowl, it was elite. It really was. But there's been a fall off anyway. There's a lot of scat back quarterbacks, things like that. Rules changed. Anyway, thank you so much for calling in. He is Caden the D's Freak. I really, really appreciate you. Let's see here. Call in right now. 801-899-6203. 801-899-6203. Call in, and I'll talk about whatever you want at this point. We're sort of wide open. There is one other headline. I just thought it was interesting. While I'm waiting for somebody to call in, if somebody calls, I'll put this away. But let me quickly, let me see if I can share this tab instead. Nah, I'll go back. Sorry, I'll go back. Because I want the phones to work. 801-899-6203. I'll just read you the headline. A growing number of middle class. Let me post the link first, since I'm not going to display the article. Here's the link. I know I've never heard of this. Fox News. Oh, wait.
Call from
Daniel.
Daniel the Gygax. How we doing, brother?
Good.
your CBA plan, and I know Sankey is talking about it now, which he should have talked about it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The problem is that you need negotiations from labor and management.
Yeah.
Management, we know, is going to be the university. Labor, who's that? Is your rep going to be somebody from a football team? Is it going to be each team is going to have their own CBA? It gets really complicated fairly quick just due to the fact that you've got multiple sports being played at multiple universities.
Yes.
A plan that would fit at, like, say, a Auburn, would that plan fit at a Colorado?
Right.
We
Yeah,
don't
that's
know. And then you're dealing with, okay, what does Alabama labor laws look like? What does Colorado labor laws look like? I don't know. I don't know.
Or California or Seattle or Oregon.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're dealing with players that are from other states.
Yeah, that's true.
So now they should fall under the labor law of the state that they're performing in. But let's say that and this is a big deal that you have, and it's called jock taxes. Like, if a team has to come out here to California, they have to pay a percentage of what their night revenue would be. Let's say that they're NFL. Mm-hmm. They play 16 games. So 1/16 of their paycheck is going to be taxed as a jock tax here in California. That's the reason why not too many free agents want to come out here to California right now, because of taxes, but that's another story completely.
Yeah, Seattle's going through it too right now.
Yeah, Seattle's going through it too.
Yeah.
So will that jock tax be applicable for, let's say, UNC has to play at Berkeley for basketball, and these guys are getting NIL and rev share money? Is that taxable under that jock tax?
I don't know. We'd have to.
Yeah, I don't know either. You know? I have. Yeah. So a CBA can fix some things, but the problem is a lot of this stuff was negotiated, like player conditions and scholarship conditions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of that was negotiated quite a number of years ago.
Oh, decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would a CBA be able to accomplish other than how much money they're getting paid? And let's say the NFL CBA, the players get, I want to say it is 58% of total revenue brought in establishes the salary cap for the 32 teams. I want to say it's 58% now.
The NFL.
So, yeah, the NFL. So let's say the NFL brings in, I'm going to throw a number out. Let's say they bring in $10 billion, which I know they bring in way more than that.
Yeah.
So 58% would be $5.8 billion is what the players would get. Everything else goes to the owners for overhead, like stadium maintenance, all this other stuff. So there's no that negotiation that the players have to get that cut. How would a college team do that? Would they sit there and say, hey, I'm going to throw out Berkeley again. Hey, Berkeley, you're making blank on your revenue. Well, you have that revenue share. That revenue share with House was supposed to fix any CBA issues that you had, that $20 million and change.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're already doing that. It's just broken.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a broken system for 150 years of college.
Yeah, but now
athletics.
It's really broken. I mean, now it's like these are the problems that we might have had 10 years ago are dwarfed by the problems. I mean, right now, it's conceivable the athletes get up and they strike. That could happen if they feel like they're being taken advantage of. That could. I'm not saying it will. But I
don't see a strike, and let me explain why I don't see a strike. Would a softball team go on strike
No, I'm only talking about
for
football.
money.
I'm
No,
not talking
because
about
they're not
anything
making.
else. Yeah, I'm only talking
Yeah.
about football.
Yeah. So we're looking at football decisions that affect the whole entire athletic department.
Sure, you bet. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we know football and men's basketball pays the bills for everything.
Yes.
I mean, there are some women's basketball programs that make very good profit. LSU, Tennessee, UConn. I can go down the list. There's about a dozen of them. But whenever you look at your primary revenue generators, you've got football, men's basketball.
Yes.
So
Generally, yeah. That's a general sense.
So would a football team go on strike? Now, remember, what was it? Northwestern. Was it Northwestern? Yeah, Northwestern went to the NLRB and wanted to become employees of the university, and that got shot down.
Right.
Are we talking employee status? I mean, there's so
Well,
many
let me ask you-
layers that you can go through.
Daniel, let me ask you, and we'll try to get through this a little bit quicker
Yeah.
than I'm thinking in my head. But at the end of the day, does it make any sense a system exists where college athletes are making 8 times what university presidents are making? The bubble's going to break. This is not tenable. What we're
the
currently
bubble's going to
doing.
break. The
So
bubble's
what is
going to
the
break,
fix?
but
If it's
that
not
is,
CBA, what's the fix, Daniel? We'll finish
but that
on
is the fair market value that they see for that player. So
Yeah,
we're
but
talking
it's only-
capitalism now.
But it's a made up market though. The market is
Yes, it is.
only exists. There's no markers, there's no measurement, there's no
No.
none of that's been this is literally like the Wild West. So
Yes, we know.
yeah, so I'm just saying that all sounds great and everything, and everybody dogs on CBAs because they are complex, especially nationwide. But at the end of the day, what's the alternative? The alternative has not worked. No legislation's ever going to get
But
passed.
then again, you were talking about college presidents. There was a map, and I can't remember how many states it was. There was like 40. I want to say it was like 44 states in America. The highest paid public employee was their football coach.
Yes, that's
now somebody's going to correct me, and somebody's going to correct me on the 44. I can't remember the exact number. I want to say it was
right.
44.
Yeah, it's something like
that.
Yeah.
So
been like that for a while.
So a college head football coach if they're pulling down pretty good money.
I know, but at the end of the day, if look what a coach can do for a team.
Yeah,
Signetti wins the national championship in 2 years.
True, but
the
like
SEC,
I said,
the SEC economics is broken, Daniel. That's my point. Everybody's saying that the SEC is the exemplar, but actually that's all old thinking. That's why the presidents and the coaches are coming out and saying, and ADs in the SEC are coming out and saying, whoa, wait a second. You say, Greg Sankey, you're saying
the only
no
reason
off the
why,
top of your head for a 24-team playoff, knowing that they want to be in the playoff too. Do you think South Carolina wants to be in the playoff? Do you think Vanderbilt wants to be in the playoff? It's a ridiculous argument what Sankey has put out there for a long, long time, and now it's basically all bubbling up this year.
But the SEC, the only reason why they're panicked right now is the Big Ten has finally realized the way that the SEC was doing business for 100 years. Hey, we can pay players now too. Oh yeah, we've got some rich alumni too. Let's put that cash into effect.
Yeah,
that's the reason why the SEC is panicked right now, is because the past 3 years it has been Michigan, Ohio State, and I still can't figure out and then Indiana. And Indiana, everybody calls that a fluke. No, Signetti's a good coach, and they finally put money into the program.
They won what, 17 games? And most of the games they blew out their opponents. How was that a fluke? Indiana won that national championship.
They did.
Yes.
They did.
Yeah.
I'm just talking. Yeah. I'm just talking like they brought in the right coach, and they got somebody to sit there and say, we're going to make football a priority.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And they finally spent money on football there in Indiana.
But that's not the only reason they won.
No.
Right.
Sig's a good coach.
There's a
I've
lot
known
of
the
moving
Signetti family
pieces
forever,
there. At university, it doesn't. You and I both know this. Doesn't run like the NFL, where you have a president,
No, it
vice
does not. It
president.
can't.
It has these other, everybody's fingers in the pie in an athletic department. So to pull off something like what Indiana does, literally is like one in, I don't know, 100,000 or something. That's not going to happen
you got to look
again
at
for
it
a
this
while.
way. A university president, yes, there's an athletic department, but you've got physics, you've got engineering, you've got mathematics, you've got all these other departments that also want money.
Yeah, of course. Those tenured professors, they want raises. They're losing people. They're losing staff. They're losing like real employees at the university. They're having to fire them because they have to divert money from operations. I went through that a little bit ago, into athletics, paying players. Really. It's the revenue share that everybody's subsidizing. All right, I'm going to let you go, Daniel. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks, Nate.
Really great. I appreciate the conversation. He is Daniel the Gygax in the house. Thank you so much for doing that, Daniel. I know I rushed you. Didn't mean to rush you there at the end. I was just trying to finish a thought. So thanks, Daniel, for calling in. I really, really appreciate it. It's always great to hear from you. Daniel is a big partner in the work we do around here. He does some fantastic stuff, and we really appreciate his contribution. All right. We'll keep going. I'll keep taking lots of comments. I have to work backwards through. I have been marking them. If you want your comment to be read, I didn't really do that even at the beginning of the show. Make it a super chat. I read all super chats. Then I defer to member comments. That's those members that have the little S symbol next to their name that you see when I display it on the screen. And then general comments are great. You guys have conversations. It's tough for me to get to those sometimes. Just saying out loud so nobody yells at me that, hey, wait a second, I thought you'd read my comment. If you want me to read it, guaranteed make it a super chat or become a new member, and I defer to those. All right. So I'm going to work backwards through some comments that I've just been seeing as we're waiting for people to call in. Call in right now, 801-899-6203, 801-899-6203. Let's talk anything college sports. I don't know, you want to talk about the Seahawks? I'm okay with that too. Let's see here. Pitt Snipe Husker in the house. Good to have. Boy, we need more Nebraska Cornhusker people around. College football's better when the Huskers are winning games. That's all I got to say. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family says, hail the reigning champs. Indy killed it. Absolutely. Thanks for being a member, Pitt Snipe Husker. I can't remember if you got that as a gift or not, but certainly we love having you around. I hope you've taken advantage of some of those member videos that we've done. They're really, really good. I can never say this. K-A-I-O. K-I-O. I don't know. Moen knows how to say it better. I apologize. I always try. At least I try. I want the SEC and the Big Ten to play all non-conference games against each other for football. The Big 12 and the ACC do the same thing, same for football. Also, to hell with this antitrust against NIL. Yeah, antitrust exemption is, man, that's horrible. Need to not ever do that. If you want to call in, 801-899-6203, 801-899-6203. Michael Smith checking in. Good to have you here, Michael. It's another heist for lawyers. They are insatiable and want more bites. Well, we know lawyers are undefeated. They might lose the case, but they always are making their money. So I have never, Darren Heitner, Mitt Winter, I realize these guys are out there to make money. But they're honest about it. They tell everybody we're here to make money. They usually, a lot of them have told you the percent that they charge. I think Darren said it probably 100 times. This is what I charge. Like it, don't like it. This is what it takes for me to be your representative. I think it's worth it. You're getting millions of dollars as a college athlete. Get an agent. They will keep you out of trouble. Anyway, but it's true. It's absolutely true. They are insatiable. And yeah, goes from there. Let's see, Marcus Williams. Always love to see Marcus in the house. Good to have you here tonight. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. $2 super chat. Funny how the Big Ten is cash king. Now SEC wants rules. Yeah, it's really pathetic. Listening to Sankey. Look, Greg Sankey's never going to talk to me, so I really got nothing to worry about. His whining is getting old. I don't know what the rest of the world thinks, but we want everybody to be held to the same rules. He's the biggest hypocrite out there. The SEC went decades paying players under the table, other ways to get them money. They win national championship after national championship. Yes, Nick Saban, I'm looking at you. And then the minute anybody else can start paying players and taking, they can't go they can't go 3 deep with their 5-star defensive tackle because he's going somewhere else with NIL money. That's the greatest thing that's happened to college football in forever. I absolutely love that part of the transfer portal. I hate how they use it. There needs to be a lot more stuff around the transfer portal, but dang, I'm not against the use of it. Anyways, good to see you here, Marcus. Oh, let's see here. Evil Badger, Ryan Willie gifting 5 College Football Mafia memberships. I will go out of my way to see if I can get this applause in here. Thank you. Badger Ryan Will is the super fan of the Wisconsin Badgers. 5 new members of the College Football Mafia family. They are Two Master. Great to see you, Two Master. I appreciate you. Matthew Castleton, A Damp, 1885. VC Knoll. Vince is in the house. What's going on, Vince? Why haven't you called in? Maybe you just hopped into my chat. You need to call in, Vince. I want to hear what's going on with Florida State. You got to call me. Call in right now. Anyways, thank you, everybody. If you got a new membership, make sure you thank Ryan Willie in the comments. And as I said earlier in the show, if you received a gifted membership, consider giving somebody else one. Karma's real in the world, and you will get paid back with good deeds. I firmly believe that. Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate you tonight. Kenneth Maynor is in the house. Kenneth Maynor is he's like, I don't know, he's got a couple things going on tonight. It's the East Carolina Pirates. Love to have him in for that. And then on Fridays he's like Florida fan, Florida Gators. So it's hard for me to transition in my head with that. But anyways, I'm just teasing Kenneth. Thank you so much for being here. $10 super chat. Also a valuable member, long OG member of the College Football Mafia family. Paying players needs to get under control. There's a lot of resentment growing for high-paid college athletes from students saddled with debt. There's no doubt about that. Academic staff and blue-collar fans paying the bills. That is facts. Kenneth, you could not be more accurate. And that, like I'm saying, the tenured professor who has 2 Nobel Prizes and all this other stuff is making $400,000, and a true freshman backup tackle is making $500,000, and maybe it was even paid in high school another couple $100,000. I mean, what are we doing here? The economics are completely upside down and broken, and it's all because the thing that they have not done over and over is negotiate with the athletes. You negotiate with the athletes, a lot of this stuff can get under control. It takes some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it really, I promise you, it will make a huge difference. Anyway, thank you so much, Kenneth Maynard. It's great to have you tonight. If you want to call in right now, I'm looking at you, Vince. Call in 801-899-6203, 801-6203, and let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. I got time tonight. My wife is getting her haircut. All right, let's get to some more comments here. Kenneth earlier said, you better believe management of college football, the schools, will reduce the labor costs. That would be the first to be reduced. Good point, Kenneth. Yeah, we'd have to see, but I mean, obviously, yeah, it could really. There's a lot of steps. We're talking layers and layers that need to be addressed. But yeah, that's certainly a big part of it. Let's see, Kalani finally answered. So we were talking about addiction. Talking about Brendan Sorsby. If you missed the headlines today, you've been working really hard and you haven't heard. The NCAA has come out and said, Brendan, no, you can't play. you're not eligible. I can't remember what the verbiage was, but you're not playing this year. And Texas Tech's president, not a booster, not Cody Campbell, the president of Texas Tech University went out of his way to pen a 2-page treatise. It just runs on and on. So a few good points, but it's like, what are you doing? You're making yourself, it was complete ego. We are here for Brendan. We're here for recovery. And hopefully he's playing September 18th. I don't know if we still have any Texas Tech fans watching tonight. I know they come and go. But if you're a Texas Tech fan, please call in the show and tell me what you're thinking. I just want to know what's on your mind. You don't have to say I'm right or you're right or anything. I just want to hear your thought process. Kalani says, like most here, I've had friends and family and coworkers dealt with addiction. I as well. My wife is also an addiction counselor, but that's her, not me. Well, then have her call in, Kalani. Come on, man. Do some work here. Get your wife to call in. I'd love to talk to her about the expertise she's talking about. I'm fascinated by some of this stuff that's going on. I just don't know how Texas Tech got here. Anyway, they wrote a $5 million NIL or MMR check, or maybe they didn't write it yet, but it was promised on the commitment of Brendan Sorsby. That's a lot of money to invest in a college athlete. On top of the fact he's an NFL arm and could win him some college football playoff games. I think everybody, if you didn't believe it before, there is no cost too great to win or even compete for a national championship, win some playoff games. Anyway, old dad in here. I love old dad. Florida State in the house, but I remember the College Football Mafia family. They have been employees for years. Time for a CBA is overdue. And he also said, and this is the magic word, he used my name in the comment, which always draws my attention. I tend to read those comments more than others. Bomber, thanks. Let's see. Thanks. Age of Miracles is not past. I agree with you. And I think you're talking about in college football recovery, but I agree with you 100%. I think the Age of Miracles is still with us. In fact, it's real. The world's an ugly place, but yeah, I think we do live in a time of miracles. I really do. I'm not saying that trite either. I'm being dead serious. A couple of comments about veterans tonight, from veterans, I should say. First, Daniel says, let me read this one first. Pit Snipe Husker says, oh, Jeebus, Gygax, I just did my 4 years on the USS Kearsarge. What is that? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the Kearsarge is. Is that a cruiser? Or I don't think it's a carrier. I'm sorry, I don't know the reference, but thank you for your service, Pit Snipe Husker. I appreciate it. And then Daniel followed that up by saying, Pitt, how long were you in the Navy? I was U.S. Air Force for 21 years. I didn't know the number of years. I'm sure Daniel's told me, I forgot, but I did know he was a veteran. And thank you, Daniel, for all your hard work and defending us when we've needed it. I really, really appreciate you guys. Friend, call me Sean. Coming in the side door, always a guy filled with facts, usually around numbers of some sort. Tonight says they are one of the following three: independent contractor, employee of the university, or employee of the conference. I prefer employee of the conference. Okay, so let's do it. CBA, employee of the conference. Let's go. I really don't care which one of those it is. I just want it to be formalized. Negotiate with the athletes. That's been my message. Let's see here. I'll ask one more time since I've done 90 minutes. If you want to call in and talk, great. 801-899-6203, 801-899-6203, or I'll just read a couple comments and we'll get out of here. I appreciate everybody joining the show. One last time, I want to thank everybody for being here. At the top of the screen, you can see I'm begging you to like, comment this video, and pass it on if you wouldn't mind, and then subscribe to the College Football Mafia on YouTube. Just put in College Football Mafia, we pop up. We're the only thing that pops up, I hope. At least we have been. Hit the subscribe button, and then I encourage you to get involved, become a member, or at least stick around for a while and see we do some good stuff. We have great member videos, great data analytic videos from Wild Ute and Wild Ute University, and then we have fun on Friday nights. So, anyways, yeah, let's get through that. Let's see here. Trying to get to some more older comments. Earlier, Timothy Green says, everyone please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Timothy, for doing that for me. I haven't missed any super chats. Let's just see if there's any comments here. Oh, here we go. A year and a half, USS Ainsworth, FF 1098, USS Carl Vinson. I recognize these names, Skaven. Yes. You're going to have to tell me what kind of ships those are, though. I know I recognize seeing them. Is the Vinson one of those lateral ships? Lateral ships? Anyway. BYU football, that would be Shonsky in the house, says, if Sorsby plays again in college football, it's football is going down a dark path to destruction. You can't gamble. Yeah, I think the zero tolerance needs to. I'm for empathy. I'm for support. Addicts need help. I mean, they're just like us. Everybody needs help every once in a while. Where I run into issues is the accountability part. And I'm just going to do this analogy one last time. If you're recovering alcoholic, to recover, your therapist, unless I miss my bet, and somebody here can correct me if you have facts behind it, I don't think your therapist is telling you go get a job as a bartender or go and work at a beer bottling plant. I don't think or going to sell hard liquor, for heaven's sakes. If you're a recovering alcoholic, you need to stay away from those things. You need to be building the rest of your health, the rest of your own person, and not let alcohol take the place of, real experiences in life. And Texas Tech just blows me away. I don't know how else to say it. Straight flight aircraft carrier. Oh, straight flight deck carrier, amphibious assault ship. Oh, I was close. Not one of the lateral ones, but one of the ones that carries those cool hydrofoils and the Marines hop on them, and helicopters, right? Those flat carriers are the helicopter ones, and maybe Harriers too, actually. Not Harriers. Sorry, that was bad. Shows my age. F-36s, right? Not sure which model, but yeah, they take off straight up. That's cool, Pitt. Thank you so much for telling me that, Pitt Snipe Husker. I think that's awesome, and I appreciate your service so much. Marcus, free markets rule in America. Yeah, I mean, Bullock, Mississippi says he still thinks he gets a TRO, temporary restraining order. If that happens, that can't happen. That simply, there can be no gray area. I know you know what I'm talking about, Bulldog, Mississippi. You've been around. But this is the one place, if there's any, that the NCAA has been zero tolerance, just like the NFL. Any professional sport, zero tolerance betting on your own team, let alone a larger gambling problem. I don't know what else to say. Let's see. There you go, and we'll finish with this. 2,500 Marines, Helos and Harriers. It was the 90s. You nailed it. Sweet. I got it right. I know a few things. I'm a history guy. I love history. All right. I am going to get out of here. Nobody seems to want to talk to me anymore, which is totally cool. I appreciate that. I'm going to turn off the phone lines. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for your amazing comments. We have the best viewers in all of YouTube. In my opinion, you guys are the smartest people out there. You ask the best questions. You have the best comments. I would encourage you again to consider either a super chat or a super sticker. Those are cool little emotes you can put and give us a little donation, or become a member of the College Football Mafia family, and then you get access to all the member videos. I also want to reference last week. I was here with Daniel Kelly, the Assistant Attorney General. I will repost the link again tonight. The Assistant Attorney General for the state of Florida. And we talked all things the business and legislation and everything around college, the structure of college sports. Old Dad knows who I'm talking about. She's amazing. And we went 33 minutes, and I could have gone 5 hours. But she's just bottom line nails about all these things. And this SEC with a CBA thing, she was nails on that too. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Stay out of trouble. I would encourage everybody again, like I always do. Reach out to somebody, best friend, old friend, somebody you haven't seen since college or law school, or for heaven's sakes, sitting next to you in the local paddy wagon. I don't really care. If you haven't seen them, but you have their contact information, reach out. Tell them you're thinking about them. Super important. I guarantee you they will appreciate it, whether they say they appreciate it or not. I don't know. But you do that. Give them a hug. Let them know you're thinking about them, because depression's rampant right now in this world we have in social media, and they need all the help they can get. All those people, they really, really do. So thank you so much for watching tonight. Appreciate it, everybody. Stay out of trouble. I will see you guys Friday night for the Big Freaking Friday show. I hope you stay out of trouble. And if you need to reach me, there it is, Bomber _ College Football Mafia. Send me a DM on Twitter, and I am happy to engage, and we'll talk through some of this craziness that is college football. I appreciate it, everybody. Have a great night. Stay out of trouble. I'm going to say peace and go Cougs and go Hawks. We'll see.